Typhoon Vongfong now moving away from the southern islands of Japan and has currently made landfall actually in Kagoshima Prefecture in southern Kyushu. This video was shot on Okinawa though on Saturday evening by videographer James Reynolds. Some pretty incredible stuff coming out of there. Upwards of 44 injuries have actually now been reported both in Okinawa and over towards southern Kyushu. Good news, the storm system is rapidly weakening as we watch it move farther and farther off here towards the north and basically heading towards Shikoku and western portions of Honshu. But you can see here on the satellite imagery, the western side of the storm system definitely a lot drier and really no precipitation to speak of over here. And you see these open cloud or these closed cloud cumulus really flowing in from the north towards the south. That's an indication of much drier and cooler air, something we often see with cold surges. So this storm system definitely rapidly weakening out here. Still going to be seeing some heavy rainfall though. And this is actually just a quick forecast I drew up here, just showing the heaviest areas of precipitation, western portions of Kyushu, Shikoku, over through the Kii Peninsula. You're really going to see about 400 to 450 millimeters, but I even think the Tokyo Kanto area could see about 100 to 150 millimeters of rainfall before all this is all said and done. As we take a look at the past 24 hours though, this is what we have seen. This is via NHK's platform. Some areas over towards Shikoku, upwards of 100 millimeters plus already been recorded, and the problem is we're going to see more rainfall on top of this, and there's already been evacuation advisories issued for parts of Shikoku out here. And we most often see, and it's exactly what's happening right now, you get your center of circulation here. Yes, it is dry along the western periphery, but on the eastern periphery, that moisture flows in from the south. So it hits those mountains there in Kyushu over towards Shikoku and also into the Kinki region across the Kii Peninsula. And you see just persistent rainfall really just tally up, and that's where we start to see that threat of flooding and landslides. And that's why a few areas actually have already been asked to evacuate. We've already seen some injuries also across parts of Kyushu, but really the winds aren't the same problem we're seeing here today that we were seeing just 24 to 36 hours ago there in Okinawa. As it does move off towards the northeast, I also do expect parts of these coastal areas into the Kanto plain to see some gusty winds. That includes a lot of you in the Yokosuka area. I know you're watching, and we could see some areas with wind gust over 50 knots. Actually, right here on your screen, I'll move this over so you can see the areas in red. That's showing your 50 knot plus winds. And as we watch this roll up the side of the coast here, also along the Sea of Japan coastline, we see some gusty winds across the Kanto area over through Nagoya into the Izu Peninsula. Those winds really do start to roar on shore, and especially across Chiba and these immediate coastal areas into Fujisawa, the winds are going to start to pick up. Now, the farther you go inland, I think it's going to rapidly drop off though, and including the Tokyo area, you can see right here, actually, max gust somewhere around 20 to 30 knots. That's gust, not sustained winds either. Big difference there. So I think the Tokyo area, it's not going to be impacted very significantly by this storm system. Let's take a look at the official track now. This is from JMA. They still have it at this typhoon intensity, winds of 120 gusting to 176 kilometers per hour. We can see here in their forecast, they do have it dropping off quite significantly. As we look ahead through the next 24 hours, actually 102 gusting to 148 after it pushes across Japan. But really the big thing with this, it's still going to be the rainfall, and I would expect them to downgrade this to a tropical storm in the near future. And I say that because the Joint Typhoon Warning Center already does have it as a tropical storm, winds of 102, gusting to 130, and they also expect a pretty decent decrease in intensity, and by the time it pushes just towards the west of the Tokyo area, 74 gusting to 93. So winds, tropical storm strength, as I mentioned, across the coastal areas. And when I say by across the coastal areas, even though the center line is still farther inland, you don't see any friction out here. Remember, this is all mountains, so you could see some gusty winds definitely on top of the mountains, but as far as the lower elevations, much more sheltered, and really the winds aren't going to be the big deal. It's going to be the rainfall at this point. So we're really just going to watch this move off towards the northeast. But the other key thing I also do want to note in on here is the fact that it is moving very, very quickly. So for those of you across Kyushu, yes, you are being impacted right now. I know we have people watching from the Fukuoka area. It's going to quickly clear out by Monday, late afternoon to the evening, really tapering off throughout the afternoon hours here in the Tokyo area, even over towards Osaka, but racing towards the northeast right now about 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. So by Tuesday noontime, look at this, it rapidly clears out across the Kanto plain. So the morning hours, yeah, it's going to be pretty windy out there. There is a possibility of some school closures, especially there in Kanagawa and Chiba Prefecture. But by the afternoon hours, you're going to be like, where did this typhoon go? Life just basically coming back to normal. And also some, well, it looks like cool air wrapping around the western periphery of it, so it's going to actually feel a little bit autumn-like as we take a look ahead through the forecast. And speaking of autumn-like, this is something we actually quite often see sometimes with these storms, especially late in the season when they race off towards the north. They gather that cool air, but they're bringing in a lot of moisture. Look at your time frame here. This is on Monday, basically going into Tuesday. And look at Hokkaido starts to see some pretty heavy snow accumulation. We even see some snow accumulated farther down here towards the south, but much of Hokkaido really starts to see the white stuff pile up here in the higher elevations, even down towards the southeast, and even over towards Sapporo, we could see a few flakes there in the air. So, hey, this is a late season storm, and that's what happens, and it looks like some areas of northern Japan could see that. But for now, though, guys, just stay safe out there. If it looks dangerous out, you want to stay indoors, but really, if you are farther north, big problem is going to be the rainfall. Just make smart decisions out there. Stay away from the immediate coastal areas. Definitely, if you are along the immediate coast, there is still that threat of some large waves that could cause some damage out here. And as we've seen down in Okinawa, well, with the last storm, several people died after trying to take images of these large waves. And even in that storm too, we had a junior high student that died in Yokosuka, Japan, and also a surfer, died in Fujisawa due to being too close to the coast. And, well, obviously a surfer was washed out to sea, and the junior high student was right near the immediate coastline. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, guys, stay safe out there. And as always, thanks for watching.